Turf Talk with Drew Miller.
Wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for all of your help this year when it comes to Tiger Turf Talk and everything to do with the Brentsville Turf program. Through the pandemic, through the heartache and loss of our dear friend Rylan, and through everything else in between, the love, support, and just overall, again, caring from everyone in this industry, from golf, sports, turf, landscape, homeowners. It has truly been one of the most incredible experiences 2021, and it's something that we'll never forget, and it's definitely a huge part of what our program is and where it's going, and hopefully the bright future we have coming in the years to come. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday with your families and friends, and the best start to 2022 possible. Again, we can't thank you enough for everything that you do for us, and hopefully we can continue on and having this great podcast with the incredible people we've had on, and keep it going and be successful in the future. We hope you enjoy this episode of Tiger Turf Talk. Good afternoon and welcome to this episode of Tiger Turf Talk. We are going to have a couple of our current students on. We have Franco Allegro and Sam Rui to do a little year in review, talk about a couple different things, what's been sort of crazy with this year, what's been fun, what we've been able to do and accomplish with, again, what has been just absolutely crazy with the pandemic and everything that went into it. How you doing today, boys? I know Franco, you're up in Connecticut, and Sam, you just got on board. Having a good day so far. Good break. That's good.
Relaxing.
So let's just start off. I mean, beginning of 2021, we were stuck in virtual classes. So last year I did have Franco, but I did not have Sam. How were your guys' classes and everything? Not just turf, but just in general. What was it like for you guys in virtual learning?
Well, some of the teachers really made it beneficial for the kids who came back in person, which was nice. They weren't all sticklers about certain rules and stuff, and they understood that kids at home may not be following the same rules that the kids in person would be, and they kind of made that nicer for us. But some teachers were also kind of jerks about it and didn't realize that some kids were not going to be following the same rules that they should have been.
Hopefully, Sam,
That's
you
my
had a
hot
different
take on it.
experience.
At-home learning sucks. We all know that. None of the kids, actually, not all, very few of the kids were committed. I'm sure the grades must have dropped, like, overall.
Well,
Maybe
no, I'm pretty sure
they were cheating.
I'm pretty sure that, yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure the grades went up because of how much people were just not paying attention and just ended up
using their resources, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. No, using their resources.
Which my biggest thing was, why are we trying to avoid that? You know, like what do you expect a kid to do who has a laptop and they're taking an exam on a laptop, you know? So most of my stuff was either open note or, again, just avoiding the whole concept of what an exam is, you know? So that was my biggest thing. But
get out of school and it's springtime, right? Or we're coming on spring. It was after winter.
So the start of 2021, we were in 100% virtual learning till about, I believe, March like 9th.
Yeah, I think March
back in.
I think March we came
again,
back.
I'm always curious what you guys think, because again, coming back in, especially with our class, where we're like, again, we're very hands-on. We're very much, let's get this done. A lot of you, including you two, there were a lot of kids that were coming in and helping with the athletic facilities, because sports started back up in like January, I think, was when football started. So you guys were there helping, getting stuff ready, painting fields and whatnot in your own free time. And technically, I was in my free time as well, because it wasn't during school hours, but just the whole concept of sort of trying to teach a
We did-
class half virtually, and with the 5 to 7 kids, 5 to 10 kids was really the number we had, but it was more 5 in the classroom, was kind of, I wouldn't say impossible, but very, very difficult. There were a couple times where I was like considering putting a GoPro on my head and just explaining what was going on. But that didn't really work out too well. And I had a student who was like my shadow in a sense with my phone. So we were on Zoom with kids trying to teach how to properly use equipment without touching any equipment, or having kids see what's going on with the kids that are actually in person. And the thing was, all of it was, again, your personal choice, what you feel comfortable with and all. But I felt like I was struggling again to educate the kids that were at home at the same level as the kids that were in person. And even the guys that were in person, guys and girls that were in person, you guys were only in for like one day that I had you the entire week, because the other days you would be.
No, there's because
it started
I
with
came
one,
back 4 days. Well, yeah, it started out with one,
right?
but then you had the option to come back 4 days
4
a
days.
week, and then even then we only had you 2 days out of the 4.
Yeah. Even
But,
though you tried to find your way out of class down in my class all the time, Franco.
What are you talking about, Miller?
What?
The
No.
reason I asked.
No.
Always was.
Sam,
But,
I believe
no,
you were
football
the
didn't-
only
football
one
didn't
that
start
came
back
in
up in
person in your
January.
class, right?
Yeah, I was alone.
How was that?
Lone
Fun?
Ranger.
Fun stuff?
Once we really had stuff to do. In the beginning, she was trying to like keep me with the virtual stuff, but like in person. And then we would go outside and do real things later on.
That's good. That's good.
It wasn't terrible. I was alone. It was just single person jobs like mowing.
Fun stuff. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
But like
no, we didn't.
before
Football didn't come back in January. Football came back later than that because we didn't start taking off the.
Oh,
growth
no.
charts
There was
until
practices.
we came back in person.
Tryouts were in January.
Oh, I got
games
you.
were
Okay.
games were February. So we
Yeah.
still had stuff to do. And again, all of that, I think the craziest part was that baseball and football overlap by 2 weeks. So like the spring sports overlap with the football season.
Yeah.
So like we were getting the fields prepared like with our seniors, because we had them in on Mondays, another time where we were supposed to have time to prep for you guys that I didn't get because I had to teach in person. But we were doing some of the work, but we weren't nearly we nearly didn't have enough time to make sure everything was perfect for those seasons. So we came back in March and we were like a week out from tryouts or something, and it was just 100% all the time on those fields. And yeah, I mean it was a tough year for sure. I mean, I don't know, Franco, you were in my class obviously, and I know your guys' class was one of the biggest resources with everything. What's your take on that sort of, again, obviously you weren't in 4 days, but what was our class like when we were half virtual, half in person?
I thought it was kind of hectic here and there just because of the amount of people that decided that they weren't going to go back in person. So you had like 3 or 4 kids each day that were trying to maintain the entire facilities, which made it a little difficult. But we ended up getting it done, which was pretty good. And I mean, we must have done a decent job because of the Field of the Year award that we got. Shout out to Sammy for doing a bunch of work on that. Sam Rui, my buddy right there.
We're not even there yet, Franco. We're gonna get
That's fine.
there, okay, that's
I
gonna be
just
part
wanted to
of
give.
this.
I just wanted to give Sam a little shout out about that.
I can
to
give
work on
Sam a
that.
shout out, okay? I was in the room when we wrote it, okay?
That's fine.
Know who
I was
wasn't
there
in the
to hear
room?
him.
Franco Allegro wasn't in the room. That's
You.
right.
Yeah, because I have a last block that I actually have to go to. Sam doesn't.
Shout out Brett Stein, by the way, Coach Stein. We appreciate your help.
Yes, he did. help.
His excitement when we figured out he was freaking out. It was awesome. But again, and I agree with you. The whole idea of, again, managing the field, again, it wasn't as much traffic as a normal like season is when it came to like spring sports, but we had 0 traffic throughout the fall, and then we went 100%. We had a football season and a lacrosse, boys, girls lacrosse, boys, girls soccer, all in the span of 3 months. I think it was 4 months, maybe, because they didn't go the normal time frame either into June or July, but it was just, it's absolutely crazy what
It
we
was
did,
a lot of traffic on the fields.
which I think the field
Yeah.
held up great too, honestly, but
No, it did.
definitely something that really brought in the whole again sort of accomplishment of what Franco brought up. Now, sorry, go ahead.
While there were no so they got everyone out of school before we went back a couple days a week. Did you have the cabinet at that time coming in and mowing and stuff? Or was that you, or did they just sit?
So
I mean, Sam, you and I
I think
went in a
you
couple
guys
times here and
you
there.
guys played a
But that
part, a
was
big
after
part of
that.
that too. No, but you guys were there too. So
No, we came in because because remember he had it set up so that the cabinets overlap.
yeah.
So that was our junior year. We were still coming in and helping, if you remember correctly.
So
Because yeah,
let me explain, Franco. I hear what you're saying, but saying what you're saying, we the whole summer we spent a good 6 days a week out there with students that were not, again, over the summer it was like no one's allowed to touch anything, like no faculty came into buildings, nobody was allowed to do anything, but we had permission because again it was outside, we didn't go near each other, there was maybe 3 to 4 people at most on the site, again football fields apart, like I would be mowing the game field. Shout out to, it was Katie Dawson, Aaron Kettner, I haven't talked to her in a while, Noah and Mara Brooks and Richard Mites. So those 5 were really, really good throughout that entire time frame of the summer into the fall, and the fall was when we started, and like Franco was trying to explain, that's when we introduced the new cabinet. So a lot of that started to sort of trickle in with our virtual like discussion and whatnot. Obviously, we do a lot more than just turf and landscaping with you guys. Obviously, we want you to learn as much as possible. One of the big things is the leadership opportunities that we provide and what we are trying to educate you on what it takes to be a good leader. So with that, obviously the program has a leadership group and we've called it the Turf Cabinet. Again, the grounds crew leadership team is what I like to call it. But with that time frame, obviously the way we like to do it is we have, again, November is usually when we start discussing the positions for the following year, because in the spring, I like to sort of take the weight off of you guys. So like coming up soon, you'll start having juniors help you a lot in comparison to your guys' cabinet, because I want you guys to have the time to enjoy your spring semester, obviously we don't get started up on going out and working on other fields. I think there's probably 4 high schools that we're going to paint this spring. Obviously, a lot of people go on artificial, so they don't need us, but there's still a few that will contract us out. We'll go out with Squints. Squints is our autonomous paint machine. If you guys don't know that out there who are listeners,
that stupid thing.
Hey, come on. Only Sam and I are the only ones that have the right to hate that thing.
That's such a lie. Don't even go there. That's such a lie.
But we
When
want
he
the
works,
I've been out
he's
there
great.
plenty of times with you.
spring sports don't start. The tryouts are February like 20 something, and most people aren't concerned about the practice fields being painted until like the following week or that week of. So end of January, and there's no active growth, so that paint will last quite a while. So games start probably first week of March as scrimmages are starting up and whatnot. So we'll have high schools that we'll do, but the main group that needs help are the middle schools, and that's not until, I don't think they play a game until like April. So really there's a lull. Obviously we're doing a lot of good stuff this winter. We're going down to STMA and everything, but there's a lot less work involved in our cabinet with the sort of beginning of spring. So like when we actually get a lot of work is when you guys are going to start worrying about graduation, your graduation parties, all that. And we don't want anyone to have to come and help little old me in the program when you guys are supposed to be celebrating, so that's when that was going
Isn't
on.
it funny that he thinks we're graduating?
I'm gonna come back and be like, nope, no.
You're gonna walk in next year and be
I'm
like,
gonna walk in. I'm gonna walk out.
No, I'm gonna. Little does he know, I'm just gonna get a teaching degree or whatever the heck it is, and just come back, and I'll just be like, "I'm your assistant."
Oh gosh. No, but again, like with that, you guys were starting to come in during that time that was chaotic. Again, we had to get the tarps off like 2 months early, and just make sure everything was ready to go. And that was a very delicate thing to do, because again, with COVID and sort of like where it was at, we were still very much concerned, wiping down all the machines, making sure everything's clean, all that. And you guys did phenomenal. Again, that's another thing I want to talk about with you guys. What was there any time where you really struggled during COVID, where just like, again, stuff got annoying, stressed out over the fact you can't get out, whatever.
Oh yeah, when I
how
got
did you
COVID,
guys
that was
cope
pretty
with that?
annoying.
What?
I said when I got COVID, that was pretty annoying.
That was this year though, right?
Yeah, that was this year, but the whole year, Miller. I mean, no, the most annoying thing was like, no, I can't go into that.
It's not even annoying. It's not annoying. It was,
overprotective
was there any
regulations.
ever a time
Yeah.
where, again, like you were struggling?
Nothing serious. The most
Sam is emotionally
COVID
strong,
rules that
people.
affect me
Sam
have to
Rui,
do
ladies
with
and
school.
gentlemen. Sam Rui. Good for you, bud.
Oh,
But most of the COVID rules that affected me had to do with school, and it was through Prince William County. And I want to be protective, obviously, but sometimes it was overprotective, in my opinion, and it made
my
everything
thing was
slower.
the end of
I
the year.
agree.
I think at the end of the year was like, oh wow, we went from tickets for graduation one day to no one needs to do anything to do COVID regulations, and 4 days after that, I was like, okay, I guess that's good,
Yeah, no, I agree with Sam. There was nothing that really.
Last year?
Huh?
How was our budget last year compared to this year? Was it
For
less money
field maintenance or for
the field?
graduation?
Just for the field.
Obviously there
field.
was a lot less put in because again, budgets were cut, and and you know what the biggest thing was, and I think a lot of sports turf and golf, actually golf did not struggle as much as we did when it came to budgetary needs.
Golf did great, dude.
Golf thrived. Everybody was like, let's go golfing. It's the only safe thing to do.
I know more people that started playing golf over COVID than I knew playing golf beforehand.
That's true.
Like Broad Run, if they didn't need to close, they were making bank, and they closed, and it was like, okay, whatever.
They made a lot of bank on the land that they sold, so we'll just
well,
we're still doing fine. I don't know why they closed.
Yeah, that's it. They could have made bank.
It was just the
along,
area.
it was just
the area where it's at is a lot of money. It's right on the edge of that rural crescent and everything, so like they can develop the land the way they did the.
So no, the way I heard it. So for anybody that doesn't know, I worked there, and the GM actually left and was going to get another job, and the owner said, "Well, I don't want to have to find another GM," so he just said, "I'm just going to sell the place." Essentially, is what I was told by the interim GM.
Gotcha.
After the GM left,
there was a lot of stuff. But back to Sam, your question. Obviously there was not a need for certain things when it came to the field and the necessary paint. Obviously we didn't do anything crazy in the spring. We didn't have as many football games home, so we weren't going to like go above and beyond, especially because again, 2 or 3 people instead of the crew that we normally have to get everything done. We didn't really have the manpower to do sort of the, again, extravagant things that we do on a football field for our school. But the main thing was that we could cut back on certain areas that, again, now when you look at it face value, where the seed market's at and where the fertilizer market's at and all that, like the cost is like quadrupled. We were able to cut from the budget because it wasn't as necessary, if that makes sense. But it wasn't like a shortfalling or anything. Like we weren't like impossible to manage the field we normally do, And
You know what
I
I
think-
think was the biggest struggle for students in your program last year? Was trying to remember all of the things on how to paint a football field, the three of you, after not doing it for a year and having new students try to do it with you.
So
'Cause, I remember
you're saying the hardest part was coming out of COVID after a year of, again, something you guys truly enjoyed and everything, and not having the experience. And again, I think that's something that we do really well, is making sure you guys have that experience, and the repetition and the skill is able to, again, sort of develop. When we talk about, I was a big baseball player and a baseball coach. Repetition and muscle memory is key. We had on.
I mean, Miller, did you see the circles I started laying down at the end of that school year?
Your circles.
Not to brag or nothing.
You remember the day they did the video? You painted it
Oh
10 times.
my
I thought that the grass was gonna be dead. I was like, guys, can you paint somewhere else, please? This is not. Nope. He's already got 5 coats on there. We're good. You don't need to do that again.
5 coats of paint on the same circle.
I mean, but that circle, I didn't.
My favorite part of that video is when you're painting, you can see that it is bright.
It is so bright.
It looked like, hey, I'm just gonna keep painting because I want to, not because it needs it. But
touching on coming back, so we have horticulture for freshman year, and the freshmen who never came in and never saw anything happen or didn't go through that class. And then we come back to school and they're in your class now, which is sports turf managing or turf management. So they're taking care of the football field. And then all the sports are crammed in at once. What did you notice having to teach them and direct them? Or did you put a lot more weight on the seniors?
That is a good
than
question.
You normally would?
I like that question, Sam. Thank you. So
I feel like we did a lot of that too.
With the virtual learning. So again, in that virtual setting, I still tried my best to sort of educate all the information that we were learning. You know what I mean? So we went over certain things like how to paint, how the paint machine works, all the different components of the paint machine. Obviously, there are so many things that go into it that, again, virtually I tried to go over. But again, with virtual, and it's with every teacher, I don't know what went through to you guys. I don't know what was interesting. I don't know how to, certain things would come across to you guys, it was actually really cool. So English classes at school, they like to do these thank you notes or whatnot, thank your teacher, and they put it in our mailboxes. I got 5 from my students last year who said, thank you so much for making school fun and for making me able to actually learn in a virtual space, because I really struggled last year. And that might have been one of the greatest things I ever was told in as a teacher, because I was lost. It's you think teachers were aware and are like, yeah, let's do this. I'm 100%. I know what I'm doing. No.
Oh, they made it clear.
No. Okay.
No, some of them made it clear, Sam. Others
and that's
of them
fine.
were just
And that's fine.
didn't
And
actually
I
it.
never tried to let it show, but I was honest with kids. Guys, we can figure this out together, or I can just keep trying, and you guys not trying makes it impossible for anything to work. So,
yeah.
And I think, sorry, Sam, you weren't in my class, but Franco can attest to this. Our first couple weeks, they weren't bad or anything like that, but both sides of the fence were gauging what one was doing and then how it would work and sort of whatever. So we sat down, I think it was the 5th or 6th week. I was like, guys, how do you want to do this? Okay. We obviously have certain things that we're doing and certain things that we're not doing. So all of the little things that, again, people were doing attendance grades and turning stuff in and signing off grades. And I'm like, okay, I don't know who's listening. Even if you don't sign out, there are some kids that were listening and they just didn't do the sign out or whatever. But I knew that there were a couple of things that kept kids interested. And one of them was the podcast, obviously we're doing now, and being able to talk to the industry people or listening to it and having, again, that opportunity to not have the same thing every single week. But having the same thing every week, in a sense, to, again, have a discussion board and then having one assignment with it. And that would be it for the entire week. We would obviously learn and we would obviously go over things, but when it came to grades and when it came to what their expectations were, everything was due on Monday. The 2 things were critical to have a grade. And again, I gave incentives for certain things, like Franco spoke to earlier, like teachers understood coming back. If you wanted to come back, it sort of would be at a disadvantage. But at the same time, if you were in our meetings at, again, Tiger Turf Talks, like you got graded on your attendance and then a short little response instead of the full discussion board. So like quick, interesting facts that you'd liked about the discussion that had occurred. And again, it ranged. Obviously, it went down as we went into the hybrid model, but there were a couple where we had 100 kids in the room, and it was like they sent an email. I read through their email, made sure it was good, and they got a grade for that instead of having to write a 500-word response. There are certain things.
I thought that was good, especially since, I don't know if other students realize this, but you didn't even have to listen to the whole podcast to get that response done.
It didn't take that much,
you didn't. Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure at the end when people weren't doing it, I was like, guys, I'm not even gonna BS you. This is super simple. Listen to 5 minutes. Yeah. You can write that much in 5 minutes of listening.
I tried to join all of them, but I think I missed maybe 2 or 3 or something.
Which we did 40 of them. So that's pretty dang good numbers, We've gotten 900, 995 or something.
What can I say? I'm an all-star.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But more like a dead end. More like a dead end, More like a dead end.
Lies.
Get it?
What's lies? That I can paint a field in 30 minutes?
Yeah, and Cole Couch also thinks he can beat that robot.
Excuse me.
The robot's great when it works.
Pause. I have painted a field in 30 minutes.
For our listeners out there.
Literally, I was running.
For our listeners out there, again, we got this autonomous robot given to us by the county because there were companies in our area that were no longer going to be painting. So middle schools and other schools need fields painted. And obviously, for those that know, it takes a long time to measure out a field that is not laid out already, whether it's with pins or geolocation or whatever. So the robot was purchased through federal funding for our program that we then used to fundraise at other schools. And one of our alumni, I remember this, Franco and I were at Garfield High School and we were painting and we were waiting for him because he wanted to come and paint. He hadn't done it for a while. And me and Franco were sitting there 7 p.m. after, I guess, a work day or something. And we're like, he's not going to come. We had already been painting and he was like, I'm coming. Don't paint the rest of it. And I'm like, fine. So he starts painting when he gets there. And he's like, I could beat your stupid robot. I was like,
mind you, it's already getting dark and he's saying these things and it's getting kind of ridiculous.
And it was the week
I had already started painting the field because, I had already started painting the robot got there.
So now Cole Couch has now come up with this big thing. We're going to televise it. I want you to respond to this podcast and say, you want us to do a Facebook Live or something where we have a team of Brentsville Turf kids versus Sam and the robot. Okay. Cause Sam's.
So actually let me say something real quick. Technically the robot has all the fields already laid out.
That is not part of it. Nope. I told
because that's
you have to against the robot. You have to measure everything out.
6-person team.
That's fine. Me saying that I can beat the robot is by having the field pre-laid out because that's what the robot already has.
No.
Yes,
because
I know for a fact
I made that very clear to Cole that there are no measurements on the field.
You made that clear to Cole. I'm saying that my competition would be the field already laid out.
Yeah, of course.
All right, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be
Facebook
and TikTok.
If you have the field laid out and you have strings already out, then no, that's not anyone can beat the robot.
Okay, so the robot's not that all spectacular then.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Here's the thing. So for those that don't know, obviously our cabinet was in charge of taking care of, again, going out and working on these fields and painting them and whatnot. Sam was one of the only kids that really came out often and frequently. Franco after golf started to come out a lot more, but Sam and I literally, it had to be 45 fields, just me and him. And he missed enough fields too. Not enough, but at least 15. And Sam and I would have times where we would want to I don't know, injure the robot is probably the best term because for some reason it didn't want to work. And we were always taught, okay, restart the robot, restart the tablet, do this, do that. There would be times where we would sit there for an hour and a half just to paint for 20 minutes. And I'm sitting here like, I can't be mad because if we were laying the field out and everything, we would be here probably for like 3 hours. So like at the same time as, again, the emotional stress of, okay, I need to get to the next school to paint the next field, but this thing won't work. At the same time, it still would have taken less time than getting all the paint, getting the machines out, getting the strings laid out, measure everything out. So again, the reason I'm saying it is incredible is it is pretty incredible, the technology that there is.
Did a good job making it. I'll give it to him. Once we figured out how to turn two-way on so it wouldn't do the same, all the yard lines.
Oh my
went
God.
right.
4.5 hour field.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
they were like, this is the most efficient way to do it. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
I remember
Which one?
sitting
Was
there
it
for like 2.5
Garfield,
hours
the
that
game
one
field?
day.
We did it. So we did it like just to learn how to use it at Brentsville. I remember that. And we did like all the hashes and everything. And it went from one side of the field all the way back, paint the hash, paint the hash, paint the hash.
4 hours.
All the way back, paint the hash, paint the hash, paint the hash. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Like this isn't real. Like we can't do these field like this. So we finally figured out there is a two-way thing on it. Even though when we were on the phone with the company, they didn't point that out. And we asked them if there was a two-way feature. And I was like, there has to be. This is not the most efficient way. Like, so that was fun. And again, I think it did wonders for our program, again, raising money and everything. And definitely a great opportunity for our students, again, sort of to grow in their own space. I mean, kids wrote all the invoices, wrote all the POs, all the different things that go into running a business type of thing. We use everything we can to make it a lesson for you guys. So definitely helpful. But it was a lot. Me and Sam, I'm pretty sure Sam was not happy with me at the end of the fall because of that. Sam, huge shout out to you, like Franco was saying before. Huge shout out to you.
Well, yeah.
There's a team on your back. We appreciate you.
As soon as golf season ended, I took over Sam's spot because he
Franco,
got
I think you went
very tired of it.
After golf.
That is such a lie. I went way more than that. Miller, I drove an hour out of away from my house to go help you one day.
Hey,
for Potomac Shores or whatever.
Woo!
And then
do
you remember?
You know what? That was probably the funniest part
hours?
about the thing was that the new schools, so Gainesville High School and Potomac Shores are new schools this year. On the geo map, it's a forest and still the construction site. So there's nothing like you can tell.
Yeah.
So like, luckily, again, when you pinpoint on wherever like the goal mounts are, but at the same time, I was like, please make sure this is on. I don't want to deal with this being off.
I mean, do you remember when we went to Unity Braxton? It was towards the end of the season, and it was just freezing cold, and it was taking 2.5 hours. It took us 2.5 hours. We had to call the company and everything just to get the thing painted.
Our man Martin. Sam and I called Martin so many times that he started calling the robot Martin. I was like, "Damn, it's your best friend." Martin. I was like, "Your best friend's Martin from Otmo. We love you, Martin. Thank you for everything you did for us. We wouldn't be where we are without you." But to sort of go into that, I mean, with everything, sort of your transition into your senior year, the biggest thing that again you guys did was the cabinet, and being part of the leadership team, the work you've done. Obviously, Sam, we just talked about the painting and everything. We've done many other things. We reconstructed mounds, different areas like that. Right now, we're in the middle of recruiting kids for the new for the next year. Again, bringing kids into the program. What has been your guys' sort of fondest memory of this year, whether it's with the cabinet or just working in class and whatnot? Franco, I'm a little concerned about the smirk on your face.
I'll wait for Sam to answer.
Well, about the cabinet, I wish that, how do I say? I wish more kids, like in more schools, could be a part of a cabinet for a program. I wish they were all run like this and they could be as involved.
Love that. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
It made me
I
cry a
don't-
little bit there. No,
Yeah.
and I
I really do, because I feel like they're not involved because they're not a part of it, and so they don't care about things. That's like the kind of the student mindset.
So
Which they could
and
take
I
it
love
as
It's just trying to
years.
get through school.
I love how you said that. Like, again, one of my like main goals when I started all this was to sort of empower you guys to take control of what your education was going to be, you know, whether it's the creative
Wasn't it a
aspect.
student's idea to have a podcast?
Yes. So that's the whole point. Like, this all came from, we had a virtual field trip with Nicole Sherry, the head groundskeeper at Cannon Yards. We love you, Nicole. Thank you for everything. Again, during that first like month of COVID learning, that was before your guys' junior year, the optional time frame. But we had her on, and I think it might have been Aaron Kettner. I could be wrong, but they're like, what if we just did this every week, you know, and had a podcast and whatnot? I was like, I guess that would be a great idea, you know. And I'm not trying to like toot our own horn or like brag or anything. We've had some incredible people on this podcast, and it has been absolutely insane to get to meet the people we've had and make the connections with the industry leaders that have shaped what this industry has become in all aspects, from golf to sports turf to across the pond in the UK and everything. It's insane, and we're so blessed to again have the opportunity to talk to these people. So
Yeah, I mean, we've had some great people on. I mean, ranging from professors to just people that have actually worked in the industry or designing stuff in the industry. I mean, Ballard Products was a great person to have on, the gentleman, the owner from that.
then your favorite, the Dirt Monkey himself.
Yeah, Dirt
Stanley.
Monkey himself was great. Stanley. Shout out to him.
Franco was like geeking out that entire podcast.
I was geeking out that entire podcast.
He's like, I watch your
he's
videos all
awesome.
the time.
Dude,
No,
dude,
but
he's a great guy.
back to Sam's point about, again, having that ownership. And it's funny because you guys know I've been working on my thesis all this past 2 weeks. You guys have had a break. I've been on a computer 24/7. My thesis is on like school culture and sort of that concept of students owning that identity and being a part of the school. You know, that's what I want for our program. And the fact that Sam just said that, it's incredible and it's awesome to hear, because again, that's what we want to give you guys that opportunity, you know. And I think, and I'm not saying other teachers don't do this, because I'm sure they do, but I value what you guys say, and it means a lot. And your actions speak volumes about what you do, especially like YouTube, obviously, and everything you've done. And it's not just this year, it's been over the years, you know. Franco, you've come a very long way. Let me tell you that right now.
What do you mean, Miller?
Oh, you know what I mean, Chipotle man. Okay.
Hey, you know that's one of your favorite memories.
Oh,
Don't even
No,
Chipotle.
go
it
I
is
there.
remember
not.
that.
That was
It is
not.
a great. So
No. We're not telling the
wondering-
story.
I don't know.
want
I think
people
he
to
would
know.
still do it.
you think
Franco would
Sam,
still
do you-
do it. I don't think he's grown much. I got something to
Would you
say
Franco hasn't
about-
grown much.
No, but he would still do that. What he did.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I'm kidding,
So
bro.
here's the story. I was
all I'm
in line
saying,
at
all I'm saying,
Chipotle.
Miller, is that
I
nobody
was the
will
line
forget.
Chipotle
you.
over the summer between his freshman and sophomore year, and you just hear this squeal, and I'm like, "What was that?"
Squeal. It was not a squeal. It
You
was a
stopped the whole
scream.
restaurant, young man. Stop, okay?
Yeah.
Everyone
Silence.
stopped.
I yelled.
Screamed Miller, and then proceeded to make a big deal about seeing me. Dear Lord in heaven, Sam, what were you gonna
To
say?
show how much we value this program and value Mr. Miller, because I haven't had his class
ashamed.
at that point. I hadn't had that class yet. I was in Beards, and I would only see Miller every once in a while when he'd walk into the room and say, "Hey, Franco, go blow off the field or whatever, move the soccer goals."
Kill the grass with
And
cross damage, you ding dong.
so, let me explain something, Miller. I wasn't told about this, and then I figured out the hard way. So
Yep.
you know, it
you
happened.
mean I figured it the hard way? You were just there.
Hey, it's a good thing. Yeah. But yeah, so to show that I guess I thought that Miller would have remembered me more, but he apparently says
I did,
to
trust
this-
me.
to this day, he still says
Oh,
that
I'm sure he
Chipotle
did.
that he barely knew me.
Sam, you
So,
were saying something. Let's get off the subject. Sam.
Oh, you mean you don't like it? No, okay. You were asking, we're talking about the cabinet and memories of it. And then I was just thinking of one of the over the summer, like coming out and helping. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it was okay. I'd come out more because I didn't mind it. But one of the best times is when I was mowing just out back. I was alone behind the bleachers, just long lines back and forth. And I had a podcast on. Pretty relaxing. I just remember that.
Solid.
People should mow more.
I mean,
solid.
that was one of the better things was that when we were back and there was less people, you were really involved with everything. So you got to have those experiences and you actually got to learn everything.
Bronco,
Or when we
what
had
was that
4
day?
0 turns.
What was
in
that
a
day?
line.
What was that day? Was that for the video with you know who that
Which
we can
day?
talk about right now? We were there for like 9 hours.
All
getting
day. No,
everything
it had to
cut.
be more than 9 hours. It had to be 10.
Getting everything
11.
done.
I think we were
Oh
getting it
my
ready.
gosh.
Do you remember on
Yes,
the 9th
I remember
hour,
that.
it was the end of the day and I was mowing out at the practice softball field. And I go down into the dip and I've done it 1,000 times. It does fine. Whatever.
Miller was so pissed.
I've never been more infuriated with something happening on that site than that. I go
And it wasn't
down
even, like,
and all
that
you
bad.
hear is I'm like, there's no way on like the last pass this just happened because I am not dealing with this right now. And I'm like, oh my goodness. that was a funny time.
That was an interesting day. I think I had worked that morning and then came and helped you guys.
No,
Was
I
that
think you
right?
were there all day.
No.
Who
Yeah,
was
you're
it?
right. I actually no, I called off work just so I could come in for that day.
It was
Um,
you, Sam.
Me, Sam, and then people showed up
I
late and then
think
left
Katie
early
Dawson
or
was
whatever.
there all day.
Yeah. But no, I remember what you're talking about because you were so pissed that tire deviated, and I was just looking at you like I was like, Miller, do you have a ratchet strap?
Miller, it's fine.
You-
Yes, I know. I had the ratchet. It was just the fury of whatever was going on.
That tire
you were
thing
like-
happened the day when we were getting everything ready for the
Yeah, the
people to
thing.
come out.
The thing we're not supposed to talk about
Yeah.
yet. Yep.
Yep,
mhm.
yep.
That
was a
shall not
long
be
day.
named.
But it was a very long day, and it was the last 5 minutes of it. And I was like, no, this isn't a thing right now. This is no, because it wasn't the first thing that happened. Didn't the hustler break?
No,
Kubota kept turning
no, the
off.
hustler ran out of gas.
That was
The
your
hustler
fault.
ran out of gas
That was your
out by baseball. Miller,
That's all
you were
Franco.
driving it. How is this
Oh,
my
what?
fault?
It was the Toro that I had. You had the hustler. The hustler is
Miller
your
would never
baby.
drive a hustler.
It wasn't.
Are you
It wasn't.
crazy?
It wasn't me who was driving the hustler because I remember you calling me and saying the
You know what
hustler's
it
not
probably
working.
was? You know
Come
what it probably
fix
was? You were working on the tire, and you gave me the hustler, and the hustler died heading back.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But
That was just a fun day. It's
That
a
was-
fun day
that
to look
was
back
a
at.
great
and just
day.
Be like, yikes.
but guess what? We got a good video out of it, and it looked great. Everything
What
looked great.
video do you have of it?
No, of the event that we did the next day.
Oh yeah,
Boy.
yeah. For sure.
Yeah, that went very well. And I do actually. Sam and I have a video from baseball from I think that was that day. From the
That
mound.
was
Sam.
when
yeah, it was-
you guys were so done with me. It was like, I think it was like 8 o'clock. The sun was going down.
That was at the end of the day.
You was like, I hate Miller.
That
This
was
is
at the end.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Good times.
And
good
he
times.
Now
wouldn't
we
let
have
me
a
wear
tamp
my.
though.
Yeah, no, we have a tamp
I don't know
video.
if it's here. I was in Ohio, so I gotta figure out if that's
No,
here.
I don't know if it's here either, but that will save us time.
Hopefully, a whacker packer. Whacker
Oh, that thing. I got you now. Yeah, no.
Play tamp.
Miller was
You end
like,
up
I'm not-
ordering the green Gator cart that I was telling you about.
Huh?
Looks kind of weak, but it'll hold a ton of weight. I've put way overweighted on that.
What gator?
They have one at the barn. That
That's-
little green cart you were gonna wheel it around on.
Yeah, I'm the one
Yeah.
that said we're getting that.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
so.
okay.
He's not talking about the one you're talking about, Franco. He's Still haven't heard back on that
Yeah.
one. We're not going to talk about that.
Okay. It's okay. We have a
This
great
guy.
workman
Oh,
at the school
my.
that works
We should
perfectly,
call him
so
out.
it's fine.
Damn, shut your mouth.
But that workman that we have is superb.
Oh my gosh, they broke it, didn't? So
What?
for our
Yeah, because they were
listeners,
jumping on it.
Bronco likes to consider himself somewhat of a mechanic, and he is a very,
Mechanic.
very good mechanic for his age, and he definitely has a lot of skill.
You know who's better than
So,
Franco?
Not you. I will fight you on this.
Whoa. One of the old Toro Workmans. I don't even know how old this thing is, but it's been sitting in a canopy or a carport. I don't even. It had to be 10 years before I got at Brentsville, and Franco talked to the athletic director, and he's like, "If you fix it, you can use it, you know." And Franco, with his determined little himself, spent the next 6 months to 10 months working on this thing, waiting for a battery, waiting for different things, and he actually got it to work. Will I say it works well? No, no, I will not.
Got it to work.
Excuse me, that thing runs like a champ.
No, it does not.
What do you mean it does not?
Sam's on my side with this. I want to let you know that.
I'm neutral. I'm not taking either side.
Oh, okay. Just because we're on air.
I'm
Fine.
affiliated with both parties. You know, we can talk about how he broke the trigger on that weed whacker.
I did not break that freaking trigger, and I will.
That was a trigger event for him, Sam, that you just did there. Get it?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Good times. Good times.
No, you know what was a
echo
triggering
blower. I
event?
had
You know
to
who
fix
was?
it.
You know who was? What was a trigger?
No. We're not talking about it. We're not
I
talking about it.
fixed it.
Echo blowers. Sam, echo blowers don't break. So you're thinking of a steel.
Oh,
blower
it was
there,
a
bud.
steel blower.
It was a steel blower.
Yeah, the
Echo
echoes
blowers
wouldn't
don't
break. You're right.
because they're superior. They're a
The brand.
superior brand.
The brand.
Echo, if you would like to sponsor us, please call us. We love your.
His name is Franco
love your
Allegro.
equipment. We love your equipment. Please
I'll get an
sponsor
echo
us.
tattoo.
I will. Yeah, if you'd like, I'm 18 now. I can get an echo tattoo if that's how we're gonna get your sponsoring and everything.
Your mother would
That's
not be okay with that at all. Oh yeah,
Fine.
With everything, was there anything that was fun for you guys again throughout the year? Again, so it's been a difficult year. So, what has been sort of the fun times? Not your favorite time, but like, again, you guys hated me for it, but I thought the fence slat thing turned out incredible. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes with Bronco. Did you say not fun?
Let me explain something.
Didn't hurt though, Miller. You just had to hand them to us.
No, I got I got an argument with someone else. I got up one block a day. I was out there every single block, every single day.
I know you.
weeks.
I know you were out there.
And I got up and did the fence one period. I'm not going to be up there all day, even though there were some days where I was more than one period. It was not fun. Yeah,
I know
it looks
there was more than one
phenomenal.
period.
Okay, you have to
give it looks great.
You know what I'm very excited for?
However,
is when the ryegrass starts to pop and we're putting mowing patterns and it is just contrasting on that black. I'm just telling you that right now.
Absolutely, but I will say that the whole putting it in the bottom little thingy majigger has no difference. Yeah, the bumper has no bearing on if the fence slat is in.
If it was going anywhere or not. Now my
it is not going to go anywhere.
The baseball team cannot like mess with it, you know, like. Hey, let me hit a baseball into the fence, see what happens. Like, no, don't do that. But
they're going to. I can't wait for the ryegrass to come in.
Other than listening to podcasts and mowing, which again, Sam, I can't agree with you more. Mowing is my happy place. I don't listen to podcasts though. I will say that.
You listen to music, I know that.
Well, that's because everything during 6 block and 7 block we're doing, we're taking care of the fields.
What I was really happy about
the weather's nice.
That's nice too. But I like that Sam and I finally have a class together after the 4 years of high school of not having a class together.
You're welcome.
Oh, we also have English together too. But
okay, thank you,
this
English teacher.
Miss Schellenberger.
Schellenberger. Yeah, that's right.
Shout out to
She's not
Miss
even
Plant
upset
lady.
that we're
The
late all
plant
the
lady.
time.
The plant lady herself.
Yeah,
she-
plant lady.
Yeah, big plant, big plant lady.
Big train
So what
guy.
was the funniest? What's your funniest moment of 2021 in the class?
Funniest moment.
Can I take a detour real quick?
I'm a little concerned, but go ahead.
When we went to Foster's, that was fun. We should do that again. Like the whole cabinet.
That was fun for 5 minutes.
Funniest.
Well, I
moment?
wasn't there to witness the tragedy.
Not a tragedy. He's okay.
It was a good student we
for
lost.
legal
I
reasons,
felt,
we're
I
not
felt
allowed-
bad
for
for
a
him
legal
because he
reason?
was trying to not hurt someone, and he just
Yeah.
fell right on his
You
face.
didn't
I
want
was
to
like,
run
"Ooh."
into them.
And it was terrible because the guy didn't even try to avoid Josh. I was like, oh no.
Let's blame it on the
We're
guy.
not allowed to talk about it.
Okay.
Lies.
Maybe we just
Franco,
talk about
what is a good memory in turf class with
a
me?
funny,
funny moments?
a funny moment with you and I.
Our TikTok.
Oh my gosh, that was a good one.
Greek gown day. What are they called? Togas.
Toga day. Toga
The
day.
Greek
Yep.
gown day.
Toga.
You didn't think of the word
Toga.
toga.
Robe day.
Oh gosh.
I love that I was in my cowboy hat for that TikTok. That was great.
I think someone commented on a social media post, if this picture does not make the yearbook because this is the most Brentsville thing ever. You wearing your cowboy hat and your toga.
Oh, that's amazing. I hope it does.
Because did you read the post I put out about you guys painting the logo with it?
I read some of the comments, but I didn't see the post.
The post, it said, do you think this is what it was like in the Coliseum when they were preparing it for the gladiators?
That's funny. I like that.
That was
I
good.
thought it
man.
was
I'm
pretty
proud.
ingenious.
I like
You
it.
had a funny moment.
So no
But,
funny moments for you, Franco?
Sam,
When he was
no,
throwing
we
the
had
tamp.
some great funny moments. I mean, the tamp was probably one that just sticks out so much. Or
For what?
me. So
that
I
day
don't know
that
if
we were
you've
mad
seen
at
the
you because it
video
was the long
that
day
we were
and
mad
we
at
were
you because it
tamping
was the
baseball.
long day. You looked at me. You go, Franco, that's not tamped enough. I go, all right, fine, Miller. I'll show you tamp. I grabbed the tamp and I'm just sitting there jumping and throwing it on the ground.
Oh, Franco.
That was a funny one. Or Sean running into the fence, or Barrett hitting the soccer goal.
Thanks for
to
airing
see
out
that
all of
happen
our,
too.
all of our. Oh gosh, poor Sean.
And then
Hey, he got right back on. He was great. Way more aware.
another funny one was seeing your reaction when I drove out the first day that I put the battery in on the Workman.
I was
your
in
face was nice.
utter shock that it actually worked. Yeah, you're dang right. I was.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, the
Are we
problem
gonna slow
was
that
we
one
had a
lower
Toro.
down?
We had a Toro again mechanic come out and say there is no point. There's nothing you can do to save this car other than
It's a
three
gem.
grand.
Let
And
me
you just go
let me
pulling
explain.
out, and I'm
Let
like,
me-
you know what? It wasn't more of a shock. It was more of oh man, here we go.
We destroyed the wiring, so
because
lucky you.
mechanic who's better than the
No,
Toro
no,
mechanic,
no,
essentially is
no.
what you just said there. So I
No, I did
appreciate
not.
it. Appreciate the
I definitely did not.
shout out
You did a
with
good
my
job. I
Talk
will
about
say
how
that.
apprentice,
fast-
Sam.
Huh?
So,
Huh?
with that, again, it's the New Year's coming up. We got a big event going to STMA and everything. What are you most excited for
Yep.
moving forward with the rest of you guys' senior year?
The rest of my senior year, I'm excited to hear back from the rest of the colleges. I'm excited for STMA, being able to travel down there and meet all the new people and find out about the new stuff that's coming out in the industry, and for our presentation and award ceremony. And I'm excited to graduate. That'll be
I thought
nice.
you weren't graduating. You just told me it's not happening.
We'll see, Miller. We'll see.
It's gonna be a split decision at the last second.
Last
Yeah,
minute
I mean-
decision.
I'm gonna walk.
It'll be
I'm gonna walk in
50-50.
front of the stage when he's about to grab the certificate. He just walks back. He's like, I can't do it.
Miller, I can't. I'm doing this for you.
And be like, no, walk back up there. Go. Oh yeah. So
I'm also really
let's-
excited to see how the turf facility turns out.
Yeah. We'll see how that turns out. Yes, we will. Hopefully. I do want to
Let's
ask.
talk about our new testing area.
Oh yeah, that was a big project this fall. Who you waving at there, Sam?
Telling someone to go away.
Well, that's not nice.
No, it's nice.
So we have
How long
a
have we been
space.
going for? Oh,
We have a space out at behind our practice fields. I think Franco had the most fun. I'm surprised you didn't bring this up. What's
I didn't get to do it.
Well, it's because Franco wouldn't let anybody else do it. So there's that.
It is a sketchy
Do
tractor
what?
that we shouldn't let kids drive.
oh,
Can
yeah.
we not put that out there? Thanks, guys.
It's a very safe
Um,
tractor.
I mean,
It is a
that's what was provided to us. So
safe.
so the facility, the area that we are hoping to build the first research center at a high school, is a pretty fairly level area. There's one area that we need to work on, again, evening out and whatnot, which we'll till and everything once we clear the space. But most of it was just brush, and there's enough, they're not trees, but they're sort of like, again, 15 to 20 years of a weed growing up. It turns into a little bit of a small tree, that we're clearing out. And again, that'll be the facility, and we're excited. It'll be a very interesting addition to the program, allowing, again, sort of a whole different aspect of what turf management is. And then we've already got pledges from Virginia Tech, Penn State. We're looking to work with Ohio State and a couple different places. Hopefully Franco is down at Texas A&M with Dr. Straw, and we can work with them. So yeah, that's the goal, is to really develop that area. Bermuda grasses, bluegrasses, different heights of cut, sports fields, putting greens, the fairway heights, zoysia grasses, anything
nice.
really, anything that can grow in the transition zone. And we can test for those schools. Again, Penn State's a little bit more of a cooler climate, so those bluegrasses thrive up there. And we've seen schools like Georgia Tech push the limits all the way down in Atlanta to grow bluegrass, which really isn't meant to be down that low. But in Northern Virginia, we still have that transition zone where it is. I know it's the Nationals' choice of turf. So again, they have a facility for 100% bluegrass. So, and then obviously the Bermuda grasses that are mostly the sports fields that we see in our area. So, but yeah, should be really fun. And I think you guys had a lot of fun working on that space, clearing it out and everything.
it was
that they're
it was
growing
an-
bluegrass
yeah.
in Georgia.
What, Sam?
Did you say they're growing bluegrass in
Yep.
Georgia?
Yep. It's the baseball field at Georgia Tech.
Dang.
Yeah, there's I think they've had a couple setbacks with, again, it's Georgia and 90-degree weather for 80% of the year.
Yep, it's Georgia.
What
were you saying, Franco?
Sorry, Franco, go ahead.
I was gonna say that it was quite fun, clearing all that brush, and the tractor we have is
There was
absolutely
a toy.
kind
tractor.
of okay.
It's a toy tractor, I like to call it.
For many instances, so for it to be a tractor, it should be able to take out a tree that's at least 3 inches in diameter.
My
Okay.
thing is hold the weight of the bucket when it's full.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
that
should
would
at
be
least do
nice
that.
too.
That is my concern, like
But
the
when
kids
it
can't
goes-
take a full load because it'll forward, Not okay.
Should we put the brand out there on how bad the brand is? Because I know
No,
none of
it's
us like
the thing
I
is
think we should.
It's no.
It's orange.
and starts with the K, and ends with a Bota.
Again, it's a home and lawn tractor. It's not meant
It
to
is. We
be-
got way too small of a tractor, but that's what was at the
It's
school.
very small. It's what was here before. Like it's not Capota's fault. Okay.
I mean, Kubota, if you'd like to,
No.
You and trying to get all these
redeem
sponsors.
Echo.
if
Jeez.
you'd
We're
like
gonna
to
get
redeem
Echo.
yourself, I mean, more than happy for you to send out a tractor. I know Echo. Sorry, Kubota, we're not going to take any if you do products like that. we're not taking your products, but Echo, please give us as much products as you'd like. Kubota will take your tractor.
I love you guys, but dang, you guys are ridiculous sometimes.
We're just
Um,
dreaming big.
What'd you say,
Yeah,
Sam?
man.
Dreaming big.
Hey, we're something that I always say is when you
My
look
mama
back
said-
at where we started, like look at how far we actually have come, with all the equipment, all the different things. Like it's incredible what
We gotta
you guys-
sharpen our blades, Miller.
Yeah, we're gonna do all that here in the spring. We have to do a couple other things too. We're not changing the oil because the last time we changed the oil, the county came in and took everything and changed the oil for a second time, like a week after we did. So,
Miller,
so
it's fine. Those mowers are self-changing.
No, they're pretty nice.
okay.
They don't leak that much. They don't leak at all.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, you just wait for the oil to burn off, and then you add no oil.
You don't even.
Oh, we
need
forgot.
oil.
We forgot about the kid who put the
Yeah.
diesel in the grandstand. That was fun.
Yeah, now it. Now
Yeah,
it
and then
starts
you
like a
just let it.
diesel.
Then you just let us run it the entire time. It was like Miller. We should have just drained the gas can.
Nah,
thing
it
and let
wasn't
that fly.
diesel. It wasn't diesel.
Nah. Now it starts harder than it should. It still starts. So it's a good engine.
Yeah. What is it? A Kohler? I think it's a Kohler.
It's a
Kohler, we love
Kohler
your
fuel
engine.
Because it's
injected.
EFI.
EFI. It's fuel injected, baby.
Mhm.
What is it? You guys ever seen Home Improvement?
No.
What? It's
Maybe. I
a
don't
TV
remember.
series. Tim Allen. Oh,
Oh,
House?
yes, I've seen it.
he would like make noises at big tools
Yeah.
and whatnot. That seems like a very much a thing you two would do.
What? Sam.
Harbor Freight.
need to deny
it.
Click, click.
There's an excavator for sale off 28.
I didn't know.
It's huge.
No.
Massive.
Miller.
We just pull
That's
it in. There's nowhere it
perfect.
fits.
Oh, it
Miller,
won't fit anywhere.
Perfect.
Won't go
because
through
then we
any of
could
the gates.
That's fine. We don't need it to go through one of the gates. We could use it for the research center and building the turf facility and letting Franco drive it around.
Just for fun. We're gonna call it the
Goals.
Bronco Parade. He's just gonna do it all class every day. It's like this
Yeah.
is my land. Get off of it. Get it. Move. I did want to ask this question.
We could add an extension on the school if we wanted to.
Shoot
course
for
you
it.
You guys are some of the only people in the country that have won National Field of the Year twice now. What did it mean to you guys? And then again, Sam, we were talking about this earlier. You, me, and a couple other kids worked on the actual application, like the writing process. We use the idea of what the application is as a lesson plan for the turf classes. Like again, coming up with a nutrient management plan, all those different things. But the actual like application is done by our leadership team. And Sam, you took the reins on that one. What did it mean to you guys to again earn the highest honor in the industry with the work you did again in such a difficult time, and yeah, but what does that mean to you guys?
When we won it before, you were trying to tell us how big of a deal it was, but I didn't know because I wasn't as into the space as I am now. But when I did the process, and like that's a long application, lots of details, and a bunch of people submit too. So when I heard from you that we won I didn't just work on it, but from the application that I helped with, that was a good feeling.
Rocco was mad at me when I told him
I was mad at you.
you got peed on by
Darn, we shouldn't have won.
Yes, I was about to throw that rabbit. Oh my gosh.
Whoa. No, don't say that.
Sorry, that rabbit was.
No,
about to be,
we're not talking about the rabbit. I was
No.
just making a joke about how angry you were. You were like, that's fantastic.
But
It
no,
was fun
when
time.
I first heard about it, I immediately started putting it on my resume back when you said that we won it, and I didn't really know what it was. And then once we won it again, I put it on my resume yet another time after I knew actually what it was, because it is a great award that a lot of people in this industry value. And know about. So it's a great thing to know that we were a part of, and know that we had that success through this program, learning the things that we did.
Hey, this is way off topic. Miller, your Christmas present from me and Franco is going to be a couple months late.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh
Months.
gosh. I am honestly a little worried about the 5th. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually very worried.
Why are you worried, Miller?
Oh, I don't know.
Because Franco's a part of it.
So
You're-
for everybody
you're
who
technically-
doesn't know,
You're talking
Mr.
about
Andrew Miller-
contacting people and everything, and I'm like, oh no, this might actually be.
Mr. Andrew Miller's birthday is on January 5th.
We're
Will this
getting
podcast
her-
be out? Will this podcast be out before
Yes.
then?
Yes, it will be out.
Great. For anybody that would like
Graduating
to email
class,
me,
Virginia Tech.
yeah,
Show up.
yes. Graduating class, Virginia Tech. From
Oh
any
my
year, it could
gosh.
be from a year that he wasn't.
Don't
even
need to
at
know him,
Virginia
you're
Tech,
invited.
doesn't matter.
You don't need to.
Yeah, you're
know.
invited.
Oh gosh.
January 5th,
Don't say it.
7:20 a.m. The party will start.
Oh gosh. It's not
If you would
happening
like
during
to
class.
donate, would you?
It's not
would you like to?
happening during
If you'd
class.
like,
It's not happening during class.
yes, it is.
No, it's not.
If you would like to
is
donate
not.
materials, food, anything like that,
Nope.
please email me.
No.
Actually, you know what? You can text me at.
No.
Actually, I can't.
I
give
do
out
have
my
a
phone number on
question.
this.
What's up, Sam?
How many other? That's the biggest award in the industry.
Yep.
And I know there's like mowing pattern awards. How many? What are the other big awards, if there are any?
So they also have different awards they're called founder awards.
Are they all from STMA? Probably
Yeah,
they
for
are,
sports turf, but the GCSAA has their own awards, like #1 superintendent in the country, different things like environmental awards, stuff like that. The field of the year is the big one for, again, sports turf managers, because it reflects like what they've done, and I'm not saying the other awards that they give out aren't, and you'll see what those are when we're at the award ceremony, but the people who have won those are people who have like made a incredible impact on the industry and sort of overall just how incredible their work is done. So Dr. Goatley won it a few years back when I was a senior in college, and all the work that he's done for it. The founders are the people who founded SDMA, who you need to study for the exam, by the way. Don't forget about that.
Actually, we don't need to know the founders. We need to know what year it's founded, Miller.
What year was it founded?
Looked it up 4 times. I can't remember it.
I believe it's 1978.
No, it's older than that.
I think it's older than that.
Nope. I don't think it is.
1981.
All right. I was 3 years off. You guys were off completely. So.
Sorry, our bad. Jeez.
I'm a member. Huh.
I don't have to take the test
Oh,
anymore.
my.
I came in third in my last year. Do I know how we did that? No, I don't.
Rookie numbers, Miller. Rookie.
What's rookie numbers?
Coming in third.
It's actually very
That's the
difficult
second-
to do.
That's the second loser. As
If you ain't
my
first, you're
God.
last. Remember that,
Ricky
son?
Bobby taught me, if you ain't first, you're last.
Gosh, this is not going as planned at all. Oh yeah,
All hyped up on Mountain Dew, Chip.
All right, we're done with Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, we got to stop. I'll keep going all night.
Yeah,
I
I
know
will
you
too.
will.
I was.
I know you will.
You have spilled my macchiato.
Of course, you would do that, guy. With everything, what are you excited about for STMA specifically, since we're sort of talking about it?
Oh, my presentation on cup holders.
If you bring
Marco,
up cup
how many
holders,
minutes-
I will freak out. I will not.
How many
I will
minutes can you
mute
talk
Miller.
about that for?
Miller, did you not read my email I sent you in Spanish?
No, you sent it in Spanish. I didn't
Primary-
read the whole thing.
Miller,
I was like,
Miller,
Lucas
that's my primary
Gracias.
topic. Yeah,
How many
know, that is
minutes
my
can you talk
primary-
about it, Franco?
At
least
least
10?
20.
20.
I can go very in depth about cup holders, Sam.
So
You
you're-
did because the depth of the cup holder.
You guys are excited to present.
I'm excited
everything?
to meet people.
I'm very excited. I'm excited to talk
for
to
you Chris called me, my former boss, who's now working at the sod farm, Sam, that you want to work at. He called me at 7:10 this morning, and I was like, I had been up until like 5 a.m. working on my paper, and I'm just like,
that's rough.
I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, what's going on? He's like, I didn't know if it was too early. I was like, no, it's fine. I was like, I know you weren't working, but I was like, maybe it's not too early. And I was like, well, I mean, most of the time that he knew me, we were at the stadium at 7, so it's not like crazy of an idea. But no, it's funny because I'm excited for you to see that and meet Chad and all those guys. But again, even just in passing, like, you guys are going to get asked so many questions about what you do at Brentsville and what's exciting you about, again, the opportunity. Franco, obviously you want to be an engineer working for a company like Toro or John Deere, sort of being that innovator for what's next in the turf industry, which again, I don't even know how you came up with that, but I think that's the coolest thing, just being able to think about your experiences that you've had in golf, on golf courses, and then in the turf part of the sports side of things at school and whatnot, and what you'll learn in college, wherever it is you're going, Texas.
Yep.
A&M.
And that was a big thing about that was like with everything that I learned, my major area that I wanted to fix was cup holders because I noticed that was an issue immediately.
Solid.
Really an inspiration
for those that feel Franco's pain of not having a cup holder that holds Yetis. Please let us know. We would love to hear from you.
Not just Yetis, because
John
Yeti.
Deere.
Yeah, we'll start with John Deere.
We're done. We're gonna get them installed on backpack blowers.
Yep.
With everything, guys, stop. With everything, what do you want to take away from your trip down there?
The takeaway I want to get from it is the people that I will end up, or the relationships that I'll end up having, or connections that we'll have leaving from there through the industry and with the different products, getting to see what's new in the industry so that I can better understand what I'll be going into in future years.
Well, when we're down there, there's going to be a lot of like education, like stuff we can learn that we didn't even know existed. But
I'm a terrible
people
teacher,
down there, I
understand.
think the people are going to be fun. Just meeting
You
people.
said it, not us.
It's going to be a fun trip. But I've told you multiple
Cheers,
times what
Bronco.
I'm really looking forward to is stopping at the farm.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I think it's going to be a great trip overall.
I'm very excited.
I think it should be fun.
To do it. It's a couple weeks away too, which is kind of getting realer by the day.
I know. Yeah, I'm not really feeling it. It doesn't feel real.
Um,
It's going to smack me like a train. You're going to be like, we're leaving tomorrow and I haven't packed a thing.
That's why we had a meeting today to discuss that. Yes, you're going to do that.
That doesn't mean he's going to actually
You're going to do that now, Sam, right?
No.
Sort of want to wrap it up on this. What would your guys' sort of final thoughts of 2021 be, and what was it about this year that was a success, and what was sort of something we can improve upon moving forward?
Came together when it was needed. I mean, there were lots of annoying things. COVID.
Yeah. I would say the things that we did well.
2020 though. They all blend together.
2021 was more COVID impact, I think, than I understand we were out of 2021, but again, like of 2020, but it didn't really have an impact of like a magnitude of having 15 different things going on and added stresses of the thing.
Yeah.
It was, you're not allowed to leave the house and we're going to do school online, which was already stressful enough on its own, but adding the level of, hey, you're coming back in, but you still have to teach online. That was what was crazy to me. So.
And I'm just glad we came back in and I got to do turf senior year in person.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you, Dr. McDade. We appreciate you. My review, my final thoughts. I am beyond, I mean, I'm blown away by your guys' resilience with everything. With everything from pandemic, the big one with losing Rylan. I mean, the relationship you guys had with him, the relationship I had with him, it was just such a big loss about, again, sort of who we were and who we are. And he was sort of the guy we all were drawn to just because of the person he was and how he carried himself. And with everything, sort of taking that and living by that, it's been incredible to see you guys come through and honoring him the way we did that night.
That night was quite beautiful.
I was so angry. I couldn't go to that.
Yeah, I think we called you. I think we
field though.
For those that don't know, when we were, I think it was Tuesday night, there was a storm coming in that morning, and it was supposed to rain right up to when Ryland's his funeral or his celebration of life was on the football field. And I think it was Ethan and a couple other people came to me. Mrs. Harris had talked to them about doing something, and we were all like, we have to do the whole thing, you know. JV football game ended at 7:50, 8:30, something like that time.
Yeah, something like 8.
So we did everything that you do on a normal week in one night. We mowed the field, cleared it off,
and a little extra.
And we did everything was painted. And we did a few extra, again, logos in honor of him. And then the sideline, Rylan Harris, play, laugh, our love, laugh, play hard. And it was, I remember, I'm not going to say who it was, but one of our admin, he was walking around, and it was one of the greatest things that it was ever said about our program. He was talking about how kids this day and age get such a bad rep for everything that goes on and the way you guys act and everything. And don't get me wrong, we're not all angels or anything like that. But he was walking and he came to me, he said, I just want to let you know, it is truly incredible to see your students, your alumni. We had kids come back who were friends with Rylan that helped that night and put so much effort towards such an incredible person and such incredible purpose, and have kids that, again, who are dedicated to what it is and who he was and everything that went along with it. It truly is incredible. And I can't thank you enough. And I started to cry because I was already emotional from everything, you know? So that night was a beautiful night. I mean, it was so many different things, so many different areas. And it was just, again, it's what we do, you know, and that's what we want to be and what we've always wanted to be in this program. And to have that moment, you know, where everyone came together that night, and it was a 6 hour, 5 hour, something like that, where we just did everything and we did it for him. We had to do some of it over again because of the rain, but luckily it had stopped before. But it was moments like that where, again, this year was one of the best years of our program, even though it was one of the most difficult times that we've ever been through. Whether it's a teacher, me, or students, it was just a time where you saw your guys' heart and everything that went into what we do. And to be able to move forward with these incredible opportunities, again, being able to go to STMA in person. We were hoping to go to GIS in person, but there's too many logistical things with COVID and whatnot. But hopefully, again, growing upon that, you know, being able to make the impact that we have and continue with that, see you guys grow, Sam, whether that's down in Carolina or here, working towards something you want to do in this life. Franco, seeing you go off to Texas A&M or Tennessee Tech or wherever it is you're going to go, Penn State, Virginia Tech. Mr. I applied 17 different places and can't figure it out.
You mean no? I applied to 17 different places, hoping that I'd have.
You wouldn't get into. You wouldn't get into other
I already
schools.
have one. I mean, I don't know. You never know, Miller. So
But
it's funny to say that Penn State's a backup school, but yeah, it is.
We love you, Dr. McNitt and Dr. Mitsky. He didn't mean it. It's just a money thing, okay? You totally would be his first choice.
Yeah,
GIE.
You're more than
next
welcome
October.
to send me more. You're more than welcome to send me some money, and
No, but
I'll be there.
but seeing that, and again, it was just incredible, just everything you guys have done this year. I do want to tell all my students I love you all, and I can't thank you enough for everything that you do. A special thanks to you two. I know Ethan, Carly, and all those guys in the cabinet. I can't thank you guys enough for all that you do. To again be able to create a program like we have, like Sam said earlier, that you want to be a part of and you want to own, there's nothing quite like it. So that's my 2021 in review. I'm excited for 2022. Again, starting off with a bang with the trip down to STMA. It should be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Any last thoughts? We're signing off.
When are we going to GIE?
Yeah. I don't think that is in the plans in the future anytime soon, my man.
Dang.
All right.
All right, we'll